This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Chris Hogan, Ramsey personality, multiple #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today as we take your questions about your life and your money. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Starting off this hour is going to be Anchorage, Alaska. Cindy is with us. Hi, Cindy. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Chris. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So I had a question. I'm currently in baby step 3B, and I've been in Alaska on and off for about 9 years working as a nurse. And I figured it's time to start looking to purchase either a condo or a home.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to get your opinion. So I have where I could buy a smaller 1-bedroom condo, but kind of looking at the real estate market, it seems like those condos have a longer resale, like they're on the market longer.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is it better to go ahead and purchase like a smaller condo outright, or kind of wait a little bit longer and either put a higher down payment on a larger condo or a house, or obviously buy 100% down, but if that wasn't the ability. So I just want to get your opinion on that.
Yeah, cool. So you're out of debt and you have your emergency fund. Now you're saving your down payment, right?
Correct, yes.
Good.
And I have enough that I could buy like a small, like a 1-bedroom condo. It's like 105 to 115.
Yeah.
But the resale on those.
And what is your income?
Here,
yeah.
Anywhere, depending on if I work 1 or 2 jobs, anywhere from 75 to 90K a year.
Okay. And so how long will it take you to save up to buy a little bit better than the 1-bedrooms that don't resell well?
I'm guessing probably about another year, like to put 100% down, but I could put obviously that larger.
So you have 100 now?
Yes, correct.
Wow. Okay, and how much longer do you see yourself in Alaska, Cindy?
Well, and that's kind of, I have a little gypsy soul, so I've got 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
Okay, I heard the Southern come out right there in that gypsy
I'm from
soul.
Kentucky originally.
Oh, well, see, we might be related. That's you're from the motherland, Kentucky. That's good.
Right.
But
I went to school in Louisville, so I understand.
Okay, but in your gypsy soul, do you see yourself there another 3 to 5 years or less?
One half of me, and that's where the caveat comes in. One half of me says yes, because I didn't think I would see myself here this long.
Right. Okay,
but at the same time, I've been
Don't
here.
buy a 1-bedroom.
Yeah.
Okay.
You told me 3 times that they sell slow and they don't appreciate well, and so it's just not a good investment. I mean, you already knew that. You didn't need me to say it. You were telling yourself that. So the 2 options are you wait and save and pay cash for a little bit better property that you could resell if you get ready to move and you're not stuck in it. And that also means it's going to go up in value because time on the market is also correlated with appreciation most of the time. Meaning if something sells really fast, it's hot, it usually is going up in value. And so that's those 2 things, days on the market, are correlated with appreciation rate in your MLS statistics typically. So I'm okay if you buy today and put half down and pay the other half off in 3 years.
Gotcha. Okay.
Or if you want to wait and pay 100%, and you wait a year and a half or whatever, and you want to pay put 100% down. Either one's fine. But I would not buy the soft market 1-bedroom.
Now, Dave, explain the phrase. And this thing is said oftentimes in real estate, you make your money on the buy. What does that mean?
Well, you have to buy something if you're going to get a deal at a deal.
Right.
And don't buy something that's got a bad situation, like those 1-bedrooms in that market aren't selling. Okay, so that's you made a poor decision at the buy. It's not necessarily the money that you made, but that's going to cost you money on the sale.
Back end.
On the back end.
Right.
And like the first house I ever bought was up on a hill, and it wasn't up on a good hill. It was like stuck in the side of a bluff, and nasty and ugly. I mean, this house was Ugly with a U. And I got a great deal on it. But you know what? When I got ready to sell it, it was still ugly. And so I gave somebody a great deal on it.
How long did it take for this thing to move?
Yeah, it took forever, And so that's the problem you get into is that, if the reason you got a good deal is still there when you get ready to sell, you're going to give somebody a good deal. Whether it's floor plan, whether it's the elevation from the street, whether it's the fact that there's a flood of the one bedrooms and they built too many of them, and a lot of the people buying those necessarily aren't. They're not putting down roots. Mm-hmm. They're more transitory. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever the reason is that you got a deal going in is the same reason you're going to give a deal going out, unless you can change that. And I mean, if the reason you got a deal was it was a foreclosure, it needed carpet and paint and a roof,
curb appeal.
And the curb appeal was fine, but you just need to cut down all the big bushes and put down some new landscaping. You had 25-year-old, plants out front that look like crap, that kind of thing. And you go in and do a makeover on the house. Now that you've changed the equation there. Mm-hmm. That one makes sense.
Yeah.
But
Cindy, I would tell you this: reach out, get an endorsed local provider, somebody that can give you that objective third-party opinion and guide you, so you emotionally don't get so caught up into it. But come up with a dollar range that you're going to buy. Don't let the bank or mortgage company tell you how much you're going to spend. You need to do that on your own.
Yeah. Well, you've done such a great job.
She really has.
I mean, you've saved up $100,000. Most people don't have $1,000.
No, that's exactly right.
She's got 100.
She's been intentional. She really has.
Pretty impressive.
Well, she's from Kentucky, Dave. She's smart. I'm just going to put that out there.
Are you?
Yeah.
You think I'm just going to leave it lay there?
I think you will. Maybe not. Maybe not. We can fight on air. It's okay for us to battle.
I'm just going to laugh all the way into the commercial break. That's all I'm going to do.
But seriously, people out there, I know, okay, here you go. I know mortgage rates are low and everyone's getting house fever and you're getting tempted. But listen to me, don't let interest rates determine when you make this move. The goal's not to buy a home. The goal's to own that bad boy outright. So you stay in control of you and your emotions.
That's the thing. What she's done that.
She really has.
She's sitting there on $100,000. She easily could have been shopping with a $90,000 household income for a $300,000 or $400,000 house.
Easily, yeah.
And instead, she's questioning whether she ought to buy a $100,000 one bedroom. That means her heart's right, her head's right.
That's right. And
I don't care where she's from. She's acting smart.
She is acting smart.
Doesn't matter where she's from. We're going to give her credit. Oh, well done. Well done. Yeah, home prices, people, getting the impulse fever, this built-up thing inside of your spirit that is forcing you in your emotional mind to buy the largest purchase you're going to make.
Yeah.
This is a recipe for stupidity.
It really is.
And this is how people get burnt, is doing this kind of stuff. So she's being very, very smart. Way to go, Cindy. Great job. Chris Hogan, Ramsey personality, and I will be back right here on The Ramsey Show. Folks, it's an honor to tell you about the Army National Guard. Not only are they big supporters of our high school curriculum, but they also give you the opportunity to impact your local communities. Whether your goals are to get an education, serve your country, or have a better life, the Army National Guard can help you get there. Plus, they offer unbelievable financial benefits. Secure your future today. Visit nationalguard.com/Ramsey to find out more. Chris Hogan, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. I am Dave Ramsey, your host. Thank you for joining us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Luke is with us in Green Bay. Hi, Luke. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Dave and Chris.
Sure.
Question for you today is regarding umbrella insurance. My wife and I, a few years ago, got a $1 million umbrella policy liability. And just curious if there's a certain net worth where we should look at adding to it on the 2 and 3 and 4 million as you go along, or is there a certain ratio that you kind of have a rule of thumb for?
Well, it starts to get ridiculous when you get above 5 million. The bargain is 1 million. A couple of $100, you can buy a 1 million umbrella. But above 5 million, you start to get ridiculous. I mean, I have found a 10 million that's decent. I think I've got 10 right now. But I also have the Dave Ramsey problem. I mean, if I bump into somebody, they're going to be going, "Oh, I'm okay. What's your name, Dave Ramsey?" "Oh, God!" And so all of a sudden, it's like I got a big target on my butt, right? Yep. So I went ahead and picked up an extra level of it, but I don't know that I would necessarily recommend that, anything above 5 million. What I do tell you to do when you get above the million need, I mean, if you're starting to sit on a net worth of north of $3 to $5 million and that kind of a thing, you're starting to worry $1 million is probably not enough. You really need to start looking at other risk management things you can do then, and that's starting to put assets into LLCs and trusts and so forth. I personally do not own a single thing anymore. I don't even own my cars. My cars are in LLCs. And that's all from a risk management standpoint, that the owner of the car is the only person that could get, only entity that could get sued if something happened. The individual, only way I could get sued personally is if I had committed a criminal act, and they could pierce it then. But so like one of my farms is in one LLC. This building is in a trust, and so on. No, I don't personally own anything, and that way, if someone falls over in one of those properties or something happens around one of those items, then they can only, if you lost the lawsuit, they can only take the assets in that entity.
That's right. And you bring up the statement risk management, which is huge, because you can work so hard to build wealth, but if you don't protect it the right way with an umbrella policy, which all that is, folks, is it's another layer of coverage over your automobile and your homeowners. And so it's just like an umbrella that you'd walk outside with. It's that extra layer of protection. And Dave said it, $1 million policy is a couple $100 a year.
Yeah.
And so you can get that in place. But the LLC and the trust, Dave, are crucial things for people to get set up.
Well, and what you're going to find is that when you get north of $5 million in net worth, if you're being wise and watching everything, there's three things that start to get very complicated. Your taxes,
yep.
Your risk management portfolio, meaning you start buying things in the name of something else, and your estate plan.
Yep.
And the three of those things work together. You need to have the entities built in such a way that they serve the estate plan, but also serve risk management. Yep. And so that's where you're going to start to spend some money on defense and on diligence to keep the government's hands off, to keep a target off your butt, that kind of stuff. But but
it's such a small dollar amount in comparison.
Very few times would I suggest, it would be highly unusual for me to suggest more than a $5 million umbrella. An umbrella only covers liability too. It doesn't cover anything else.
That's
so
right.
It's not covering the property itself. You get covered with traditional insurance.
Yeah.
But the umbrella, it just attaches to the liability limits on the top of your car policy, the top of your liability limits on your car policy, the top of the liability limits on your homeowner's policy, and extends them out another $1 million.
Yeah.
And at $250, somewhere around there.
And we got all kinds of everyday millionaires out there. So if this is something that rings true for you, I want you to go to DaveRamsey.com and click on the Insurance ELP and start to have that conversation. Like, this is the time to get those things in place.
Yep. Sean is in Bloomington, Indiana. Hey, Sean, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Yeah, so my wife and I are in a very unique situation these past couple weeks. She works for an ESOP company, and they just recently got bought out by another company. So all the employees are being paid out in their vested shares.
Wow.
So my question is, we have the option to take out a distribution up to 40% of the payout of the vested shares. And my question is, do we take some of that out to pay off all of our debt, including the house, and then roll over the rest in the 401k option that they're providing with the company? Or should we just roll everything over into the 401k?
So it is all pre-tax. Is that what you're saying?
No, you will still have to pay the taxes on the vested shares.
But and so you can't roll it into a 401k then. If it's not pre-tax, it can't be rolled into a 401k.
Based on the paperwork here, they're giving us the option to, I guess, move it into a 401k. I'm still looking at all the paperwork here, but
I double check it because typically what they would do, Sean, in that scenario, they would allow you to take what you own in stock and then purchase new stock of the new company.
Okay.
Like it may not be a traditional 401k, but just double check that. But I'm going to tell you, buddy, how much debt do you guys owe on right now outside of your home?
We owe on 2 vehicles. That'd be $53,000.
How much money is this transfer going to be worth?
It's $1.477 million.
That is her part.
Correct.
Wow.
I love it. Congratulations. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Seriously.
We feel like that we've won the lottery.
Yeah.
And,
okay, here's what you need to do. You don't need to ask two goobs on the radio. You need to get some tax advice, okay? I want you to get some detailed tax advice because there's too much money involved here. I can't tell exactly what you've got from the way you're describing it, and I'm afraid I'm going to mess you up as far as taxes. Number one, I want to get the money out of that single stock as fast as I can into mutual funds. Now, you can do that inside of a 401k, inside of a rollover to an IRA, or if you've got the ability to just take the money out and only pay the taxes on the gain. I can't tell what is available to you to shelter it. So what I would do if I were in your shoes, let's play this through. Let's pretend this is pre-tax because it sounds like it may be, okay? And they're going to convert it to stock, and then I'm going to convert that stock into mutual funds inside the 401k as fast as I can. If you can move it instead of the 401k into an individual traditional IRA with no taxes, I'm going to do that with the bulk of this. And I'm going to pull out $400,000 and just pay taxes on it because I think there's not going to be any penalties on it, and pay off your house and your cars. What's your home mortgage?
We currently owe $126,000.
Okay, so $200,000 plus some taxes gets you out of debt 100%, right?
Correct.
Out of 1.7. I'm definitely doing that unless you're getting hit with the 10% penalty plus your tax rate, and I don't think you are. I think you're going to get taxed at a capital gains rate with no. Again, you're going to have to get some professional tax advice because I'm going to screw this up. But yes, unless you're getting absolutely hammered on the withdrawal, then I would pull enough out to be debt-free, and I would roll the rest of it into mutual funds, into the 401k, and I would move it into some in an individual IRA rollover if I can. Get with one of the SmartVestor Pros and get online and get with one of our tax pros if you don't have one in your back pocket. Both of them are the ELP for taxes and the SmartVestor Pro for investing. They both can tell you exactly what you've got because I can't tell how this ESOP was set up.
I can't either. And I want everybody else to calm down out there because this is not how these normally play out. Well, this is the best version of this story.
Well, it's an employee stock option program. I mean, an ESOP, and the thing just went bananas.
It did. They got lucky.
Wonderful. But don't leave your money in the new company stock any longer than you have to.
Run.
Uber high risk here.
Yep.
I want you to get out of that and get into some diversified investments where you can calm your risk down, and that way this money's going to still be sitting there.
That's right.
Congratulations. That's so thrilling. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Chris Hogan, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Matt and Jamie are with us in Sioux City, Iowa. Hey, guys, how are you?
We're good, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. I see on my screen you're debt-free. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We're excited.
How much have you paid off?
$81,243.93.
Love it. How long did that take?
Roughly 16 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
So our primary jobs have us right about 50 take home, and then the 4 or 5 side hustles that we did throughout that time brought us up to about 80.
Wow.
4 to 5?
You guys are after it.
Goodness.
What kind of debt was the $81,000?
So it was all student loans, and 95% of it was probably me. So
How long you guys been married?
just about a year and a half.
Okay, so you get married and you started on this. Boom, just like that, huh?
Pretty much. When we were doing marriage prep, my sister and her husband, who have been married for a few years, they introduced us to you. So we started, reading your books, listening to podcasts, and we were engaged. And then the day after the wedding, we got home and drained my bank account and really just kind of started.
Wow, went after it.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. So the side hustles left and side hustles to the right. What was the most lucrative per hour, the best side hustle?
I would say probably, I bartended a couple different places. I would say the Marina Bar, or even during the pandemic, once things were shut down, and Matt and I were both working from home, I started quilting and doing like T-shirt quilts and baby quilts and things like that. And I got faster at it, so that turned into pretty good, per hour wage.
That is fantastic. And looking at this, so Jamie, did you kickstart this, or did you guys kind of both come together and agree?
We both really agreed. I think Matt, because he was kind of the one that was bringing in the student loans. He got pretty intense about it, and we started. Even though we were still engaged and we hadn't combined our finances, we were doing the monthly budget. We were tracking everything we were spending, and so that was kind of how I had lived. I mean, I worked 40, 50 hours a week during undergrad, so I didn't have student loans. And so once we got married, we were really on the same page, which made it a lot easier.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, when you guys are in this thing together, people rowing in the same direction get to destinations faster. So very proud of you. Who encouraged you all during this time?
I would definitely say, like Jamie said, her sister and her brother, both of our parents were very much in tune with it as well. They were big supporters of us, and it was just her and I. Like she said, we got very serious about this. Our first year, we did not live with heat or AC. One day, it got to 49 degrees one night, and we powered through it. And now we are currently living in a funeral home to save on rent. So we're all in on this whole thing. So it's pretty crazy. We got quite a story to tell.
Wait a minute here. Hold on just a minute. Are you all working at this funeral home or living there?
A little bit of both. I guess you can count that as one of my 5 jobs. It's just kind of as needed basis on whatever they need help with. But
Gotcha.
it was one of my gigs when I was in college, and then when we moved back to the area, friends of ours had run this funeral home, and they said, "Hey, do you want to live there in exchange for some extra hours that you're going to help us?" So,
yeah,
hard to turn that down.
Well, okay.
No, it's not.
Hey, you all are all in for sure.
Yeah, you'll be telling your grandkids, "Yeah, we lived in the funeral home." That's how we.
There's only been one really ghost story, so we're doing pretty well for having lived there for a year and a half. Yeah. So we're happy with it.
Oh, that's one too many, but I'm good. Yeah, all right.
I'm even more impressed with you all now. I was before, but now,
Matt,
I really
I think Jamie comes from a family that believes in working really hard.
Yeah, I mean, her family's been farmers for a long time, and when I got there, it was like Jamie had already had this figured out on what work is and what you need to get done, and we need to spend money, you need to have money, and we don't do much of the spending, so that's kind of what I learned, and now we're killing it.
Yeah. So what do you guys tell people the keys to getting out of debt are?
I would say to be on the gentle edge of just grow up. I would say you have to stop buying into this myth of instant gratification. I think that's something that our society has kind of manipulated people into thinking, that, you know, everything is just right there, and it's kind of what you said, just do what feels good. You know, you have to kind of get over that and work towards something bigger and get rid of that, you know, instant gratification. That was the biggest thing, I think, for us, because there would be weekends that we would work 40, 45 hours in a 3-day span, and we would make $700 or $800, but I didn't want to go to Dairy Queen to spend $6 to cap off the weekend. Like, we were just kind of so, you know, gazelle intense that, you know, we just really didn't want to break from that, and we really looked kind of beyond that fleeting moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well done. Well, adults devise a plan and follow it. Children do what feels good. You're right.
Yep.
That's just absolutely vital. So well done. How does it feel now that you're there?
I mean, it's incredible. We're starting to, you know, Jamie's going to go to school here again pretty soon, and we're already cash flowing that. You know, it's just been part of the process. She got her master's degree. We cash flowed our wedding, our honeymoon. I mean, it's just, that's how we're going to start doing things and continue to do things. So it's incredible that we don't have to pay student loans every single month. That chunk of change is coming out automatically. It's awesome to see that the hard work we put in is staying in our bank account, and we get to use it how we want to.
Yeah, well
proud of y'all. Very proud of you.
Well done. Well, hey, we're going to give you a copy of Chris's book, Everyday Millionaires, and I'm also going to give you some tickets to the Friday night Valentine's weekend special where John Deloney and Rachel Cruz are doing a money and marriage event. So we're going to give you some tickets for that. You guys need a night off. I'm just saying. Wow. Yeah, weekends with Bernie and everything. Oh, my gosh. Unbelievable. Wow. So you guys are impressive. So well done. You're absolute rock stars. I'm proud of you. Very proud of you. All right. It is Matt and Jamie. $81,000 paid off in 16 months, making 50 to 80. And there's a great place to go when you're broke, to work. They proved it. Well done. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
Yeah!
Great job.
I love it. I love it.
Wow.
All right, Madison, pick up and get them a copy of Chris's book, plus get them a copy of this upcoming event. It is this coming Friday, February the 12th, the Marriage and Money event with Rachel Cruz and Dr. John Deloney, talking to you about the money and marriage connection, the communication. One of the things we have found over the years, for those of you that are married, it is absolutely vital that you're on the same page with money. It changes your relationship. It changes the probability of your wealth building occurring. Everything. There's only $30. $20 was the early bird ticket. So it's only $30 a ticket. And you can enjoy this live stream. And this coming Friday at 7 p.m. Central. No matter what your marriage looks like right now, we can help you achieve better unity and communication at the special Valentine's edition of Money and Marriage, streaming live to your home Friday, February 12th at 7 p.m. And again, Dr. John Deloney, Rachel Cruz, one thing for sure, if those two are speaking, there will be humor.
Oh, they're going to have fun.
The two of them are they're just funny.
We may have to be there to make sure they do what they need to do.
They actually cover the material.
Yeah, we got to hit the stuff,
because they just get to cutting up.
But listen, you're going to have
I don't know anybody else that does that stuff.
No, not you and I. We are straight-laced.
That's right. We stay with the business.
Always.
We never stray.
Never.
Weekends with Bernie.
But twice or 2 or 3 times an hour. Here's the deal. If you're a part of Ramsey Plus, you better get on over there and reserve your seat, because you get a chance to check it out for free.
It's a part of your membership, man.
Check it out.
This is how it works.
Date night.
This is how it works. I love it. This is The Ramsey Show. Chris Hogan, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. This is The Ramsey Show. Thank you for joining us. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Adam is in Valdosta, Georgia. Hi, Adam. How are you?
Hey, Dave. Hey, Chris. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. How can we help?
I'm in a position where, with my career, I'm trying to go back to school and get a degree to further my career. And I'm in a position where it's possible that I may have to go into debt to get this degree. With my career classes can be transferred over into credit into this specific university, online university. And there's no way this is the only one that moves all of the classes I've ever taken into college credits. So I'm trying to struggle because I'm doing my debt snowball. I'm struggling with handling the debt that I have and trying to stay debt free for my degree.
And what's your degree? What's your degree field?
I'm trying to get a bachelor's or 4-year degree in business administration.
Okay. And how much do you lack?
I have, depending on how many credit hours my classes for my career move over, I have only my core classes, so I'm fairly fresh into it.
So you got like 3 years of work left?
Yeah.
I mean,
right. And I could cut that in half almost if I go to this university because it'll transfer all my career stuff over. So
you'd have a year and some change left. You'd be in your senior year or late in your junior year?
Correct.
Okay. All right. And what do you do for a living?
I'm a firefighter.
Okay. And how old are you?
I am 26.
Okay. And so the business degree does what for you?
It allows me it's one of our requirements for promotion in the future.
As a firefighter, you need a business degree?
As a higher level, an administration level, chief.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. It's further down on my career path.
Yeah. All right. And how many years before you would be eligible for that position if you had this degree?
If I had the degree, I would say roughly 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
It's rough to say, but at least 5.
Yeah. Okay. And how many colleges are in Valdosta?
3, I believe.
Okay.
Yep, 3.
Yeah. And the one you're looking at, though, is online?
Correct.
Not one of those 3?
No. This university, or the online university, is the only one that moves all my classes.
I know. I got that part. I got that part. Have you talked to all 3 of the others?
I have.
Okay. Because they are much cheaper than the online.
Yes. Yes,
like
they are.
A fourth, aren't they?
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what you're doing. You're either going to go over there and talk one of them into this and sit down in the president's office, just stroll your butt in there and sit down and go, I'm getting ready to move everything to an online and pay too much for this degree because you guys won't transfer these credits. So we've got to figure out something because this is crazy. I would rather keep the money here in our community. I'm a firefighter here in this community. I'd rather keep the money here in the community and support our local college. And it's better for me to say I graduated from this local community. And it is, by the way.
Right.
Yeah. You're not going to go into debt and go online. Matter of fact, I think the online idea is just a bad idea because I think you're paying way too much for the stinking degree that you don't need for 7 years.
Right.
So I would just nix that, and I think you just got to do some politicking on the transfer because the thing, these are small colleges. This isn't like you're trying to go to freaking Harvard and get them to waive your, accept your credits.
Right.
This is Valdosta State or whatever it is, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's not a. I'm not putting it down. You'll probably get a great education there. Yep. But my point is you'll have access to people probably that have an open mind. Oh, by the way, they actually want students, need students.
They definitely need
I'm going to go in there and find out what the appeals process is or who I have to appeal to or who needs to stroke an executive order waiving this. Or I don't know how it works even. Yeah. I wish Dr. John was here because he would know.
Because it baffles me because even with a community college, they will take the credits, not give you the grade.
Some
of them, but I mean, I'm going to communicate. Adam, take the opportunity or the thought of going into debt off the table.
Exactly.
It's what I want you to do.
Exactly.
Just because right now you've got that looking like it's the only option to you, and it's really not. I'd much rather you go have that conversation, go low and slow as you're going part-time, and it take you longer to get the degree with avoiding debt. We got 43 million people walking around with 1.7 trillion in student loan debt. You don't want to go there.
Yeah. And a percentage of them whining at the top of their lungs, expecting the government to forgive their debt now. I mean, we've got the lefties, going bananas on this stuff now. And so, we should all have it forgiven. We should, and so, I'm going to be telling you, no. Now, the other question that I would bring into play here, I understand that you need the knowledge pieces to be an administrator in a leadership position that high, the business leadership, but I might even challenge that the degree is 100% a prerequisite for you moving up into those roles.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you could exhibit and show the knowledge that was in place,
right,
you probably might be eligible for that as well. I actually have never run into that before, but that doesn't mean that you're not correct. I'm just saying I haven't run into it. And so it does make sense. It's logical sense that to be in an administrative role as senior chief, the chief of fire chief for the whole county or whatever, that kind of a thing, that you would need some organizational, administrative skill sets that you would get in a four-year business degree. That's logical to me.
I'd even have the conversation with the chief there to find out, can I enroll in the National Guard?
Well, or will they pay for it somehow?
I mean, I want to have the conversation on this to find out and understand it more. But Adam, thanks for reaching out, buddy.
That's very cool.
You can hear it's heavy on your heart. You need some more options and to have some conversations and keep gathering information.
The trick is, as Chris said, take the debt off the table. It's not an option. And then from there, what are we going to do? Well, we've got to find another way to get this goal accomplished. And that's what I keep poking at around the edges here. What are the options to still accomplish the goal with no debt?
Yeah.
And either cash flowing it, National Guard, fire department chips in. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. I hate that you would pay 4 times more because you can't get the local college to accept the transfer credits.
Yeah. Man.
Which is illogical, by the way, on top of that. So it means you got a good case as far as I'm concerned. Brenda is with us in Oklahoma City. Hi, Brenda. Welcome to the Ramsey Show. How can we help?
Hi, thank you. I want you to rethink, if you would, buying personal defense insurance. Because I'm single, I live alone, and I don't live in the best neighborhood. And I've already bought it in all actuality. And my son is a firm believer in you. He's coming home next month. He's helping me go through my budget because he's already succeeded with yours. And
what are you paying for this?
Oh, $179 a year.
And you make
what? He's going to go about $30,000 a year.
That's a lot of money for you. And so basically, if you pull your handgun out and shoot a bad guy, this is supposed to protect you.
It would, because I actually know the company.
Yeah.
It's a really good company.
Yeah, there are some legitimate companies in that space, and there are some companies that cover about half of what they say they're going to cover, too. So I mean, I live in Tennessee. I'm a handgun enthusiast. I collect guns.
Yeah.
I carry every day. I don't have it, and I make a lot more than $30,000. But the biggest insurance I've got is I'm going to run. Because I'm not pulling that gun out.
Right.
I'm going to run.
That's right.
I'm going to run like my head's on fire.
Yeah.
So if you want to buy it, it's okay with me. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's a lot of money for you, honey. And I might think about spending that $179 on moving. Some other things like that. There's some other things to look at. But you give the impression as if this is somehow going to fix everything. If you shoot somebody, it's not. It's not. It's going to ruin your life. This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I am Dave Ramsey, your host. Chris Hogan, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Eric starts off this hour in Erie, Pennsylvania. Hi, Eric. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well, Dave. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
So I'm 19 years old. I'm a full-time college student, and I've just started listening to your show. I just got my car paid off, so I have zero debt. And I got into college with a lot of scholarships. And I'm also very, very fortunate to have a college fund. So I will be graduating with no debt. I've been working hard throughout high school and college since I was 15, and I have about $24,000 saved up between my savings and investments. And my question is, should I start contributing to my Roth IRA, or should I wait until I'm out of college and I've started my career?
Man, you're a rock star. Well done.
Yeah, you're
very
on
well
it.
done. Congratulations. I'm proud of you, man. Very well done. Here's the thing. You have plenty of time after graduation to begin your retirement investing. So if you graduate from school, get your first gig, your 401k Roth there, or your Roth IRAs, and start from there on. And you keep doing that from 22 until you're through your working lifetime. You're going to be a multi-millionaire. Plus, you are not afraid of hard work, and you've been very intentional with your money.
Yep.
Very wise beyond your years. And so if you don't get crazy, you're going to be a multi-millionaire because it's the way you're wired up. You're heading in that direction already. The best insurance that you have the best income is for you to finish your degree and finish it without debt, as long as the degree is something that's applicable and there's a job market for it. What are you studying?
I'm studying communication sciences and disorders, and I'm going to go for a master's degree in speech-language pathology.
Phenomenal. Mm-hmm. Excellent. So that is going to afford you an excellent income. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay. So, translation, the money that you would put into a Roth, into good mutual funds, the money it would make in the next 3 years compared to what you are going to be worth as a result of graduating with this degree is not even on the same chart. You are a much better investment than a Roth and mutual funds are to finish your studies. Now, I understand you've got it mapped out with scholarships and with a college fund that you're going to go through debt-free. I heard that clearly, and I heard that you have $24,000. It wouldn't make me mad, in other words, if you didn't start your Roth until after graduation and instead ended up with, I'm going to make up a number, $50,000 in an account when you graduate. You could start investing some of that money then. You can use it for transition into your new career and move cities and all that kind of a thing.
Have a fully funded emergency fund.
That's like an insurance policy to ensure that Eric graduates debt-free.
Yeah. And Eric, what about the masters? Are you going to be paying for that, or is your college fund going to pay for it?
My college fund is going to be paying for it.
That's great.
I'm actually in a 5-year program, so I've already been accepted into the master's degree program, and I know exactly how much it's going to cost.
I bet.
I bet you do.
Also roll over. So I will be graduating 100% debt-free.
Well, I'm proud of you, buddy. And here's the beauty of it. While your college friends might be eating ramen noodles, you can upgrade. Okay, you got some money, but be smart. And like Dave said, graduate, have $50,000 sitting there ready for you to jumpstart life, and be just hyper intentional moving forward. Then,
Eric, even if you wanted to park some of it into an investment, say like an index fund, okay, an S&P 500 fund, a no-load fund, something like that. If you want to park some of it there and begin some investing, That's okay. I just wouldn't put it in a retirement product like a Roth or a 401k, because my big goal for you is to finish this wonderful track you have put yourself on. And man, you've gotten some really good coaching and advice, and you're a very, very sharp young man.
Great job, buddy.
Excellent work. Angel is in Tampa, Florida. Hi, Angel. How are you?
Hey, good afternoon, David, Chris. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. How can we help?
Well, I have two questions. One, I want to start with, I have an RV that I purchased, and I'm on my baby step 2, and I owed $55. It's probably worth $45. So my question is, in baby step 2, do I just get a way or find a way to get rid of it, even if I have to carry or maintain some kind of, balance?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you make a year?
72.
Yeah. This thing's insane.
What's the payment on it?
Oh, it's nuts.
It's $500.
Yeah, forever.
$500 a month.
Yeah. So, you're going to end up with a $10,000 unsecured loan at your credit union or your bank to cover the deficit that you're in, and because you've got to cover that difference in order to sell it and get the title, correct?
Correct.
Or the RV company,
now,
or if the RV company will carry it for you, then I would let you do that as well. But yeah, you need to get rid of it, and you're going to have to cover the difference. So, but it's better to be $10,000 in debt than $55.
Hey, absolutely. And the $500 you've been used to paying, that's going to allow you to, again, you're going to go the debt snowball route, make minimum payments on everything but the small one. And once you chop that down, you're coming on down. And Angel, you're going to change your kind of financial situation with that. But go talk to a credit union or your bank, because this has to be unsecured in order to release the title from the RV company.
Yeah, or if whoever you've got the RV loan with, if they will agree to just let you sign a note for the difference. If you've already got the loan over at your local credit union, for instance, or over at your local bank, you can get them to just allow you to sign a note for the difference, and you pay payments on that and put it into your debt snowball. But again, it's easier to get out of $10,000 than $55, and owning a $55,000 vehicle that's going down in value like a rock, sitting in your driveway when you make $75, is a mathematical
using it twice a year,
crazy land.
Yeah. No.
It's got to go. You got to get rid of it.
You don't own any RVs.
I don't.
Why?
I waste my money on other things. I do waste money. I mean, because I own 2 boats and 2 Sea-Doos, and that right there will offset a RV, right? And so, I mean, I got 2 ski boats, but again, they're a very small percentage, not only of my net worth, but of my income.
But they are also used.
And one of them wasn't when I bought it. I bought one of them new.
No, I meant they're used throughout the year. You're always.
I'm riding around behind that boat all the time. But but I mean, he may be using the RV. We don't know he's not using it. But a boat, an RV, all these things are toys.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with having a side-by-side or, getting a snowmobile or whatever it is you want to get that's a toy. But all the things that number one, you have to pay cash for it. And all the things that you own with wheels, motors, on them, they go down in value, so they should add up to no more than half your annual income, because otherwise you have too much juice tied up in stuff going down instead of up.
That's not good.
Pretty simple math formula. This is the Ramsey Show.
Cliff and I joined Christian Healthcare Ministries because we really liked the concept of Christians sharing each other's burdens. And we really experienced that firsthand when Cliff was diagnosed with heart disease. It was just such a relief to know that financial burden was going to be taken care of.
CHM is the original and longest-serving health cost-sharing ministry. Get started today and check us out at chministries.org/budget.
Chris Hogan, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us. This is the Ramsey Show. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Tony is with us in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Hi, Tony. Welcome to the Ramsey Show. How can we help?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Hey, my question is, I get my company leases a vehicle back from me. I'm currently on steps 4, 5, and 6, and it's about $850 a month. And over the last 10 years, I've used that fund. I've just put it in a savings account and gained 0 interest on it to buy my vehicle with cash every time. And I'm just wondering what to do with that money this time around. If it's a money market, mutual funds, savings account, what's the best option?
Well, if you put it into a mutual fund, you stand the probability of it going down in value, not just up, right?
Correct. And I know you say if they're not going to leave it in 5 years to not go into a mutual fund.
Yeah.
This last time it was actually about 5.5 years when I used the funds.
Well, I mean, you could split it up, and you could put half into a S&P 500 and half into a money market, and then you're not putting it all at risk of going down if you want to try to let it earn a little bit. The trick is that the system is what's going to save your butt, not the fact that you had it invested.
Okay.
How much money are we talking? You're talking about, you said $800 a month, and you're putting it all aside for car replacement, right?
Correct. It's about $10,000 a year, and at the end of I usually run the vehicles to about 200 to 250. I'd like to run them as long as they can, and they're always paid off.
Let's say over that 5-year period of time, then let's say it averaged $25,000 because it's $50,000 in 5 years, so it averages the median point is $25K, and so if you make 10% on $25K, that's $2,500. Which does not impact a $50,000 situation much.
Okay.
So what you earn on this money is not as important as the fact that you have a system to keep yourself from going into debt.
Okay. So it would be okay to earn nothing then, as long as I'm continuing with.
Yeah, because it's the investment. Okay. But if you were going to leave it alone 20 years and you left it at 1%, well, that'd be ludicrous, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And Tony, I mean, you've got an opportunity to be able to put half of that aside for car replacement. You could throw the other half. You said you're on 4, 5, and 6. You could throw that toward the mortgage. You know, the point is you want the money to work for you.
Don't put any more in this car replacement fund than you need to replace the car.
Right.
And so whatever the schedule is on that, and again, if you want to just to dial it up a little bit, move half of it into mutual funds, into an S&P 500, and the other half just let it ride on a thing. Let it ride in a money market account. But whatever you earn on it, even if you earn really good money, is not going to substantially change your life. What is substantially changing your life is you've been smart enough to avoid debt, and you have a system to replace these cars after you wear them out, and you are destroying them because the number of miles you're putting on them. I mean, you're just wearing them out, and that's you're a road warrior, and it's part of the cost of doing business in your world. Nothing wrong with that, but at least you've figured out how to admit it, and that's pretty cool. And you also figured out the $800 a month doesn't cover all your costs. So they're giving you some money, but they're not giving you a company car. You'd have been better off with a company car, a lot better off. All right, Dave is with us in Dallas. Hi, Dave. Welcome to the Ramsey Show. How can we help?
Hey, Dave. I'm trying to determine whether or not I should do a deferred income annuity.
Why would you do that?
Well, my financial person suggested it because I'm real fearful of a market crash, and she's like, well, if the market crashes, you're losing the value of our retirement right now. I'm retired. My wife is fixing to retire.
Yeah, how old are you?
I'm 58.
How much money's in there?
Retired at 55. And
how much money's in there?
We got 2.3.
Mm-hmm. And you're fearful that the market is going to completely destroy?
Well, not completely, but half. And then if I'm withdrawing...
And where in history have you seen it do that?
Okay, you're right. Or 30%, I guess.
And where in history have you seen it do that?
I thought 2008 was somewhere around there.
No, it was half. The Dow went from 13 to 6,700.
Okay.
And it was back in a year.
Right.
And now it's not 6,700 or 13. It's 30,000, right?
Correct.
Okay. So unless you have a need for $2.5 million at the bottom of the market, you would not embrace the 30% loss. You would ride it out, wouldn't you?
Yes, even though I'm going to be withdrawing, $10,000 a month,
which is a whole $120,000 a year. That's not even the growth.
Okay.
Dave, listen.
Yes, sir.
Listen, my friend. You are an everyday millionaire. You have been intentional in growing this money. You're going to be fine.
Listen, the thing is this, okay? I understand that the world is unraveling out here in front of us. I'm watching it too. I'm not disagreeing with you about that. But Dr. Deloney talks about when we're in a crisis situation or when we're in a situation, facts are our friends, not fear. And if the facts say, if there's some actual facts that indicate that we're going to have a substantial market drop and it's going to maintain and it's going to stay down there, then we would have this discussion. I don't have any of those facts. The only thing I've got is I don't like the socialist tendencies that are in D.C. right now. I don't like the idea of heavy taxation. I don't like what they're going to do to the economy overall. I don't think it's going to be pleasant, but I don't think we're going to see a market correction of 30%. I'm 60. I have pulled zero out of the market due to my being upset about the current world that I live in. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So while I have those emotions, I have to gauge the actual facts of the history to do that. So all of that said, I'm not sure I would do a deferred income annuity. I might do a variable annuity. And a variable annuity will give you principal protection and a floor of a minimum gain or a minimum increase in value, usually 5%, 6%, and you're invested in vehicles that are going to make you 10 to 12 on average. But if the market really tanked, you'd have principal protection and you would have a floor for the earnings. And so if that will make you sleep better at night, you're going to pay an extra fee for that variable annuity that you really don't need. It doesn't give you anything that you need except that peace of mind that you're looking for. So you're paying for that. Now, would I move the whole $2 million in there? Absolutely not. But would I move in your case if you still think this through and you still are worried about it? Then you might move 500, 700 in there. Maybe move a third of your net worth into that. It's not a bad place because you can put it in good mutual funds. You'll still have a similar growth rate. You're just going to have a higher expense ratios.
Okay.
And when you pull money out of it, it's no longer going to be taxed at it's all in 401ks anyway, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah, you're going to be taxed ordinary income anyway when you come out. But
no. I'm sorry. Right now, no, mine's not in 401ks. All of mine is, or the majority of mine is in IRAs.
Okay, but if you have you're taxed at ordinary income when you pull it out of a traditional IRA. And so when you pull it out of this, you're going to be taxed ordinary income too. So that doesn't harm you much.
Yeah.
If you're dealing with non-retirement money putting into a variable annuity, you're going to change from capital gains taxation to ordinary income taxation, which is something else to consider, but that's not your case.
Yeah.
So maybe a third of it, Dave, but the other thing I would do is I'd spend some more time learning about history and let facts be your friends, even though we're scared. Chris Hogan, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. Thank you for joining us, America. You're listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Kyle is with us in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Hey, Kyle, how are you?
Hey, Dave, thanks for taking my call. I got a quick question about the little bit of extra money that I got, where I should be putting it. I say I should be putting it extra towards my mutual funds. My wife wants to pay off the rental properties.
Your wife would be right.
So even if I plan on selling those rental properties when I retire out of the military in 4 years.
We'll go ahead and sell them now.
I could do
that. Okay.
But they're still making me a little bit of money, and so when I retire,
I think the
key here is a little bit.
Money.
Yeah. But Kyle, think about it. That same mindset you have of wanting to put the money into mutual funds for it to be able to grow long-term for you, if you go ahead and sell them now and take that equity, finish cleaning up whatever debt you have, and now you invest that, now you're on a serious long-term growth plan.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
That is true.
You're not really making any money on these rental properties, are you?
Not real money. I mean, I'm making close to $750 a month off the rentals, and it's paying down the mortgage and building equity.
$750 minus vacancy, minus repairs.
Yes.
Yeah. So, really, we're talking about $3,000 or $4,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
And you how far in debt on the rental properties?
Total, it's $437.
You're $437,000 worth of risk to make $3,000 a year. That does not make sense. When you said a little bit of money, I knew what you were talking about. See, I love real estate, but real estate is not a good investment the way you've done it. Because this is it has as much chance of costing you money at the end of the story as it does making you money. So I think you're both going to get your wish. I would sell the rentals now because I don't think they're a blessing. And I want you to buy rentals later and pay cash for them in your wealth building journey, but not this year, and maybe after you get out of the military, and maybe after you decide where you're going to settle, and all of those kinds of things. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and invest that money in mutual funds like you wanted to do.
Yeah, Kyle, thank you for your service, by the way, but I knew Dave was about to do a math lesson on you. I knew it because I've been around enough and I've heard it. And unfortunately, when we see it for what it is, you see those numbers the real way, and you start to identify you're only making about $3,000 a year and taking on that level of risk, you can quickly identify that it's not worth it.
Well, there is something that has risen up in the 20s, the 20-year-olds, 20 to 30-year-olds, even 20 to 35-year-olds right now, that we're seeing almost on a moment-by-moment basis in all of our interactions with you guys out there through broadcasting and through all the other ways we interact with you. The positive is there's this tremendous, that this generation, whatever we're calling these 20-somethings, has this tremendous entrepreneurial zeal and drive.
Mm-hmm.
And this sense to be independent. And it's not greed-driven. It's initiative.
Mm-hmm.
It's very positive.
It really is.
It's a wonderful character attribute. You've got that. That's how you got these rental properties. And that drive is causing these 20-somethings to do two things, and oftentimes poorly, because they're doing them too quickly. I did this in my 20s, but I'm a boomer, which now is a put down, but it used to be just a demographic.
Mm-hmm.
But now I've got old man house shoes, so there you go. But this wonderful zeal, this wonderful entrepreneurial zeal is causing these 20-somethings to buy real estate. Because I got to buy real estate. I'm going to get rich in real estate. I'm going to get rich in real estate. Man, when I was in my 20s is when infomercials started.
Oh.
That was the beginning of infomercials.
Oh, yeah. So
I'm going to get rich in real estate. I'm going to get rich in real estate. And I grew up in the real estate business, and so I went straight into I'm going to get rich in real estate. And I did. I became a millionaire by the time I was 26. And it's driving this Bitcoin craze. It's driving this GameStop craze.
Yes.
The same zeal is driving people to do these things and to get out there and I'm going to do something. I'm going to get something. And it's not greed. It's the spirit on it. My discernment says it's not greed. It is initiative. It's a positive ambition. But what happened with me was I bought real estate that I couldn't afford. I leveraged it. I used totally borrowed money, and I ended up with $4 million worth of real estate that I owed $3 million on. So I had $1 million net worth, but it wasn't cash flowing, and I was flipping it, and it was barely cash flowing, like his is barely cash flowing. This is why I know this math, because I lived it.
Right.
Because I did the same thing, only I did it with more zeros on the end. It wasn't $400,000, it's $4 million. And it took me down because the bank got sold and called our notes, and then I didn't have any cash. I was not in it. I had all these assets, but there was no cash.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do that with real estate is when you're going to go broke, not when you're going to make a fortune in real estate.
Right.
And so real estate that does not have margin is not a blessing. It's a liability. And investing in things that don't have margin or that are a high-risk gamble play is a misuse of your entrepreneurial ambitious zeal. And so I love the zeal. What I want to do is channel it with some wisdom.
And a process.
Some wisdom.
Yes.
And that is slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
And pay cash. And don't invest everything you have in super high-risk crap. I mean, and I know there's stories of people making money in Bitcoin. I know there's stories of people making money with GameStop. We talked to one here on the air the other day. I'm not saying it can't happen, but I know stories of people made money at the roulette wheel, too.
Yeah, that's right.
I know people that made money on Wheel of Fortune, but that doesn't mean, or Jeopardy. I have personal friends that won enough, and they won $50,000 or something, but they didn't change their career to be game show operators.
Right.
And they didn't put everything they had, that didn't push all their chips to the center of the table on one hand of cards.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing when we go into highly leveraged real estate, into businesses with no margin or high-risk investment plays, and we act like it's a freaking game.
Right.
Because we put all the chips in the center of the table. Now, if you got a small percentage of your chips and you're going to lose those and it doesn't kill you, that's different. I don't even recommend that, but I'm not going to make fun of you for that.
Right.
I am going to call you out on the other, because it leads to bad critical thinking that, okay, real estate's a good investment, so all real estate, no matter how broke I am, is a good investment.
That's right.
That's bad thinking skills.
It is. And that's what happened in the 90s with day trading. It's what we're seeing now with Bitcoin and GameStop. But I'm going to tell you something, Dave. I'm getting these callers calling in, these millennials on my show, The Chris Hogan Show, that are saving and investing and following the plan. And the trail is the foundations course they took in high school. That they were either financial peace babies, where their parents went through it and taught them, or they went through foundations. And so they've got this learning foundation, literally, where they're thinking and following the process.
Yeah.
It's encouraging.
But I had people, when I'm doing real estate deals, I had people that thought I was a genius when I was buying all that real estate, except the old people. And the old people that had money kept looking at me going, son, you're too leveraged. You got no cash. This is going to catch up with you. You're going to get a spanking. You're going to get it. And I kept going, oh, you're just old. You don't understand. This is the proper use of capital markets. And I used all the catchphrases.
OPM.
I've got great internal rates of return. I have no cash.
Right.
No liquidity. I couldn't buy a freaking loaf of bread. But I got $4 million worth of real estate. And so this idea that you can throw around all your arrogant little terms and all they show is your immaturity. They don't show that I'm a dinosaur. They show that you're a child. That's all it shows. And so the thing is, use this ambition, this movement, which is so positive in this generation, in a slower, more methodical, cash basis way with high margins, and then you're going to learn to love real estate. I got a bunch of real estate, and I want you to have some too. I just don't want it to have you.
There it is.
Well, tax season is here. I know that's exciting news. Oh, goody, Dave. Thanks for the help. The reason I want to say that, listen, you got to do your taxes early. And the reason you do them early, not in March or April, is because you're going to be under far less stress, and less stress means less mistakes. Plus, if you actually owe taxes, filing early means you can start saving or being ready to file early. Even if you need to save up and wait until April 15th to actually pull the trigger on the file, you'll at least know what the target is, right? If you need a tax pro, you need to get with one right now. Before they get busy, you get busy. You know, this is the sooner you reach out to a tax pro, the better. And that way your taxes get done way before the deadline, and then you can decide a strategy for this year and what you need to do. Text the word Tax Pro to 33789, and we'll hook you up with one of our tax-endorsed local providers. Text Tax Pro, one word, to 33789, and you'll find a tax pro that Chris and I and all the Ramsey personalities endorse and think are awesome.
Seriously.
Clemmy is with us. Clemmy is in Atlanta, Georgia. Is it Clemmy? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
How can we help?
Hey, how you doing, fellas? Hey, so I've got a question. I'm in a job that I love, and with my career trajectory, I'm assistant manager at a retail store, and within the next year or so, I'm going to bump up to a store manager and ride that out for another 5 years and stay with the company and go to corporate office after that. But my quandary is that I have credit card quotas to meet, and it goes against everything that I believe in, and I have to push these, get store credit cards, and I'm having a hard time doing my job effectively, and also I don't want that to hinder me from moving up within my company. So I'm at a loss of what to do in this regard.
How long you been with them?
Since 2016, so I'm going on 5 years.
What do you make?
I'm at 60.
How big a knot is in your stomach?
Well, listening to you every day doesn't help any.
Sorry about that, brother.
Yeah, so I'm really pushing something I don't believe in.
Clemmy, listen, brother, my friend, I crossed that same path. And here's the reality. It is truly a matter of you coming to understand that the skill set that you've been blessed to have, the way that you work, the way that you serve customer service and sales, that same skill set can be used elsewhere without you having to have a conflict of what you believe in. And it's going to require you to have that thought process before you gain clarity. And I would tell you what I did was I started to write down options. Where else can I go and help people and serve well without having to do something I don't believe in? And I'm going to tell you, in that industry, it's not going to go away. You're not going to be able to miss this. In order to move up, you're going to have to embrace it. And not only embrace it, do it well. So that's where you're going to have that crisis of kind of internal conflict. You're going to have to change industries, but that doesn't mean you still can't serve people.
Now, here 2 or 3 things come to mind. One is you've got a detailed career path laid out in your mind with this company. So you're not abandoning a $60,000 a year job that you hate.
No.
You're abandoning a dream that you've had.
Yeah.
If you leave this company, and that's going to be very hard to do. That's why this conflict is so real. And I'm not suggesting that you have to do this on principle. You're calling and saying that the principles are that you feel like you're in conflict. So one thing is, I think you need to, it's going to take you a little while, and you don't have to panic, and you're not stealing bubble gum from little children. I mean, this is not, you're not, you're just doing something that you don't feel good about, that you wouldn't do for your own kids. You wouldn't do for your mama. And, so you're violating your conscience in that regard. And so, but it's not, you're not doing anything illegal, and you're not doing anything immoral. So I would take my time and work my way into a new dream, a new career path that I can begin working on. And so, embrace some of Ken Coleman's materials at kencoleman.com. And, the Proximity Principle book, we'll give you a copy. I'll have Madison pick up and give you a copy. So that's kind of thing one is there's a real emotional process that probably is going to take more than 10 minutes. Okay? If they came in and said you had to do something illegal, that would take you about a minute and a half to walk out the door, right?
Absolutely.
But this is not that situation. This is just a rub, is what this is. But it's a rub that's, like Chris said, it's not going away. Now, the second thing is to embrace what Chris's portion of advice was. One of my favorite books on business that I've ever read is by our friend Rabbi Daniel Lapin, and it's called Thou Shalt Prosper. And Rabbi Lapin, as you can obviously guess, is a Jewish Orthodox rabbi. And the book is the 10 reasons that Jewish people have had a tendency to prosper throughout history beyond the population that they've been installed in. And so, for instance, 3% of Americans are Jewish, 67% of the Forbes 400 is. So these are 10 principles we all want to know, right? Those of us that aren't Jewish. But Rabbi and I have become really good friends over the years, and one of the 10 principles is that over a long period of time, it is almost impossible for someone to prosper doing something that they don't believe to be morally correct.
Yes.
So it's going to be very difficult over the next 10 years for your dream path to actually occur, because you have this other, knot in your stomach. And, and I'm sorry I put it there, but I'm glad you recognize it. I mean, again, I'm not pounding my fist and yelling that this company is horrible or something. They're just a retail company selling credit cards. They all do. And my goal is that one day enough Americans wake up and realize that the credit card is basically the cigarette of the financial world, that companies like this quit doing that. Because the public pressure forces them to, like the public pressure is forced to change in smoking. Yeah. When I was growing up, you could smoke on an airplane. A metal tube with people in it full of smoke. I mean, it's just amazing. In the air. It's just, and the funniest one was when they went to no smoking sections.
Yes.
As if the magic.
You were exempt.
It's like the no pee into the pool. I mean, it's like it doesn't go to the other end of the pool. Come on. And so, but anyway, that's what's going to happen as we continue to have more and more and more people understand that living debt-free is a fabulous way of doing it.
It really is. And Clemmy, I'm going to tell you, that little knot that you have right now is only going to continue to grow.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And so I am too, but I'm excited for you. The thing that I got to was that it was a matter of the Lord had something else for me to do. And so having that awareness, as Dave said, you do shift the dream. But you do understand that you're still able to serve people and use the skill set you've been blessed to have and that you've polished. And so, again, get Ken's book. We're going to send you a copy. I want you to read it, but start to lay out options. And I'm proud of you for reaching out and talking about this early on. It was something I struggled with before I reached out to a mentor to discuss.
Yeah, I think the options is a big deal. When you've got a new dream that is as detailed as your current dream.
Oh, man. Oh, game changer.
In a different area that's not going to cause you these knots in your stomach,
yeah,
then making the change will be easy. Right now, the idea of making the change is going from this dialed-in path to nothing.
Yep.
And that's not a jump anybody can make emotionally if you're wise.
Yeah.
And your emotions will stop you from doing that, and they should. So take your time and let's get a new dream detailed out. A new path. This says I'm going to work here, and then I'm going to be a store manager, and then I'm going to be a regional manager, and then I'm going to work in the home office, and whatever it is. I mean, you had it laid out. I mean, you got it dialed in. And but I wish I could tell you that the big box, whatever it is, retailer, Home Depot,
they'll wake up,
Lowe's, whoever it is, Walmart, whoever it is, I don't know who it is, that I wish I could tell you they were going to quit peddling credit cards soon enough for your dream to come true, but they're not.
Nope.
They're not.
Target.
We're going to keep working on them at Ramsey, though.
Yeah, we are.
Until we bother them enough that enough people start to realize that I think we can create a whole movement.
I think we are.
We are. We are going to create a whole movement. This is The Ramsey Show. This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Chris Hogan, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Jacob is with us in Danbury, Connecticut. Hi, Jacob. Welcome to the Ramsey Show. How can we help?
Hey, Dave, Chris. Thanks for having me. How are you guys?
Better than we deserve. How can we help?
Just got a question about a 401k investment, retirement investment. Right now I have a traditional 401k, and I'm looking to go to a Roth 401k.
Good.
I just have a question on the best way to do that, if I have to do it all at once with the taxes, or if there's steps I can take to kind of cut down on the amount of I have to pay out.
Yeah, well, the first thing is just stop doing new except Roth. Let all your new contributions be Roth from this point forward. That's step one, okay? Now, how much is in your 401k in the traditional?
About $50,000 right now.
Okay, and what baby step are you on?
I am on baby step 4.
Okay. Then I would not convert the $50,000 until after your home is paid off.
Okay.
Because it's going to create about $12,000 in taxes.
Yep.
And I would rather you use those $12,000 for your 5 or 6 baby step.
Mm-hmm.
But later on, when you're in baby step 7 and you scratch up some extra cash, then yeah, go ahead and flip it on over into the Roth at that point. But it won't hurt anything for it to sit there and grow as traditional for a couple of years while you get the house paid off.
Okay. I do have another question about mutual funds. Right now I do have a portfolio with kind of a slow growth. I'm just wondering what the best mutual fund that you would recommend to invest in non-retirement.
Non-retirement. Why would you have non-retirement?
I don't know if it's something that I may need to pull out of it, or
how much is in it?
I have about $70,000.
What's the balance on your home?
About 70.
Ha! I think we just found a use for it.
Jacob, did you feel that? That was a seismic shift right there for you, buddy. You have an opportunity.
How much do you make a year?
Well, this is actually the first year with a bunch of overtime. I just pulled in about $120.
Way to go, man. And you're debt-free house and everything. I'm so proud of you.
Game changer, Jacob.
Yeah.
Seriously, brother.
Right.
Hey, man, cash it out and pay off your house. Now let's take that house payment and let's save up $12,000 and convert the rest of that 401k to a Roth, and then let's start maxing everything out. And then let's just start piling up some cash and being unreasonably, outrageously generous. You are so cool, man.
He is, seriously.
Well
I mean,
done.
A young man that has listened and followed the principles is about to be 100% desperate. I mean, for the most part.
Mostly.
You know, but now he's got a chance to kind of right the ship and get himself moving in the right direction.
So for clarification, for those of you that are just kind of in the middle of, you know what a baby step is, but you're not sure about the nuances.
Ooh.
Whatever money you have in anything that is not in a retirement account should be liquidated and used for whatever step you are on.
Yes.
Step 1's $1,000. 2 is debt-free, everything but the house. 3 is an emergency fund. 4 is 15% of your income going into retirement. 5 is kids' college, if that's applicable. If not, we head straight on to 6 and pay off the house. That's how I did that.
Right. But non-retirement accounts, Dave, can look like what? A brokerage account.
A mutual fund investment.
A mutual fund investment.
of $70,000 with a $70,000 mortgage.
Right. An inheritance. All of these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The money is sitting there from, you got some stock your grandpa gave you. You got $10,000 in savings bonds that Granny gave you. You got 5 gold coins that you don't even know how you got them or why you got them, or I don't know what it is. Whatever you got that is just sitting around, it's an investment. Use it for the baby step that you're on, because the shortest distance between where you are today And wealthy and outrageously generous is walking those baby steps exactly and as quickly as you possibly can.
Don't change the recipe, okay? Anytime people tell me, Chris, I'm following baby steps-ish. I'm doing Ramsey-ish. I'm like, stop doing ish and do it.
Yeah.
Follow it to a T. We've had millions of people get help. Why are you overthinking the wheel? It works.
Hey, we're even walking with our 1,000 team members this year.
Yes.
Our internal vision for the year is to walk the talk. And so everybody's going through Financial Peace University again. We're dialing in so that our own team members are not doing ish.
That's right.
And we're even doing T-shirts. Ish is a wish. Hogan's saying on the T-shirt, ish is a wish.
I like it. But
walk
seriously,
you've
got an opportunity right now where you are to make a decision. And if you're not a part of Ramsey Plus, I'm telling you right now, get over there. We are adding more information and more content at all times. You have an opportunity to get connected with the events that we have via live stream because you're a member of Ramsey Plus. So text the word trial to 33789. Again, the trial is the word. Text that to 33789 and come on in.
Yeah, if you're brand new, the thing is that he's right, that we've got this whole thing we just installed. It's in the last 6 months or so, where the first 90 days we give you small, consistent wins, not just the baby steps, but every little detail leading up into a baby step.
Yep.
Small, consistent wins. These add up to big results and better habits, and that means you're going to get where you want to be faster. So, free trial by texting the word trial to 33789. Now, if you're a member by Friday night, we've got the Money and Marriage event Friday night, and it is $30 if you want to watch it as a live stream. Rachel Cruz and Dr. John Deloney talking about marriage and money. It'll be fun, funny, and informative. Great Valentine's Day gift. But if you're a member Ramsey Plus, it's free.
Yep.
Most of our live streams are free to Ramsey Plus members, in addition to Financial Peace University, in addition to premium version of Every Dollar. All of that's all wrapped up there to make sure you get what you need and that we're able to walk with you and show you how to do that. But the trick is there's kind of a spillover effect. Like one of those water wheels coming around. As the water fills up one area, it moves one more time, spills out. And that's how the baby steps work.
It does.
Any of the water that you've got, you put it in that bucket until that bucket's full, and it spills over to the next one.
You move on.
And then any other water you get, whether it's from your budget or the gold coins in your safe, or you're going to sell, I don't know, grandpa's whatever. I don't know what it is. This thing you've been hanging on to that really is not an asset. It's just sitting over there on its butt looking at you. And the only thing we don't do is we don't cash out retirement to do that because of the penalties and the taxes are so heavy. And it makes it takes the fun out of it.
I'm telling you, you got a great opportunity. Change your future, change your mindset. And if you change your mindset, I'm telling you, you can change your life.
Yeah.
So come over to Ramsey Plus. Check it out.
Jacob's in a great place.
Yes, he is.
He's debt-free, house and everything.
You just helped him.
If he does what we told him to do.
He better follow the directions, Jacob.
Today, Jake.
Right now. Don't make us come to Connecticut.
Please.
No, it's cold. I can't go up there. I can't go up there.
Please don't make me.
Nope. I'll text him.
Please, I don't. I'll do anything, Jacob. I would almost pay off your house to keep from coming. Not really. What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices, and they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings. Chris Hogan, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. We invite your calls at 888-825-5225. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. Find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you save even more. Use the magic word, the promo code Ramsey.
All right, today's question comes from Dave in Kentucky. He says, I lost my wife in December of 2020. My goodness. I have an 8-year-old that will start receiving survivor benefits of $858 per month from Social Security. By the time she reaches 18, the total of those payments will be around $100,000. What would be the best thing to do with the money so it earns interest and is worth more once she's 18? Wow. Well, Dave, I'm so sorry to hear about your loss, my friend. That's tough, and I can't imagine what you're going through. I hope you got a good church and good friends around you. But looking at this dollar amount, this $858 survivor benefits coming in, this has got to become part of your budget. You're going to use this to raise your daughter.
Yeah, whatever baby step you're on, and if you'll follow the stuff we teach, by the time she's 18, you will have fully funded her college funded. She'll have a lot more than $100,000. And you will have become wealthy over that 20 years, and she will have a lot more than $100,000. And so there's not any moral, ethical, nor legal obligation for you to set this money aside in her name. You spend more than $858 raising a kid a month anyway. And so just put it into your budget and work your budget, because we're counting on you to be a great dad. And anytime you work your budget, it is for the good of you and your family.
Yeah.
And so your daughter is going to more than benefit, far beyond what the $858 would have done, by you doing the right thing.
People struggle with this.
Well, child support, I should set it aside.
Right.
No, it's all part of the budget, because you spend more than those dollar figures on kids anyway.
Yeah.
Just to raise them.
Yeah, no, without a doubt.
I mean, the percentage of the roof replacement, the percentage of the electric bill, the percentage of the insurance that the kid rides in the car, the cost of the car, the value of the loss in the car. The kid is receiving the benefit of all of that. And so this is called raising your children in a family. It's what it is. And so mathematically, you spend a lot more than that on the kid's portion of your life.
Yeah.
And so you've done nothing wrong by not setting it into a separate account. And as a matter of fact, setting it into a separate account, I think, would be wrong.
Yeah.
It's the improper use of it. It's not the most efficient use of the money. So, good question. Natalie is in Canada. Hi, Natalie. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
I'm trying to figure out a few things, but the main thing is whether or not to try and get my husband on board with selling our house. I've brought it up a few times, but he really doesn't want to sell it at a loss. We moved a year ago, about an hour and a half away from his current work. He planned on getting a job around where we live. We live in the middle of nowhere, with the intention of being able to grow our own food and just be out in the country again, where we both kind of grew up. And anyway, it hasn't happened yet. He's trying, but it hasn't happened. We just realized we were expecting another, so we've got one toddler and another on the way.
So he has a job. It's just an hour away.
An hour and a half, yes. So he's traveling about 3 hours a day, but the income is he takes home about $31,000 and some. Almost $31,200 a month, and we don't have any real issues, I suppose, with spending that we're aware of. We don't,
you don't have any money.
Have any subscriptions? We don't have any money. No,
you don't have any money to
used
spend.
To living.
$31,000 and a 3-hour drive a day. I know where your money and babies. I mean, you don't have any money.
No. I don't know how to convince them. We're both believers. Unfortunately, because of COVID, all the churches are shut down. The one we did get to know, it's closed now, and we really haven't developed any sense of community around here.
How much do you owe on the home, Natalie?
Okay, so far we Oh, it's around $280,000.
Okay.
It was just under $350,000 when we bought it.
How are you making a payment on that, making $31,000?
Well, we're losing every month.
How?
What
do you mean you're losing?
Our payments. Well,
you're going into debt?
Payments, no, not yet.
You're eating up your savings.
Yes, we're eating up our savings.
Yeah, I would guess. How much is your house payment?
$1,183.
And how much do you all have in savings right now?
Oh, we're burning through it. We've probably got, right now, we've got $1,900 left to our name in liquid.
And you're burning how much a month?
I don't know. We are burning. I wrote this down too. Got all kinds of papers in front of me. $2,707.40.
So you don't even have a month left?
Not really.
No, not really. I mean, $2,000 over $1,900. You don't have any money left.
Yeah, I don't know what to do. I'm trying to say.
Okay, I don't. Let me. Okay, I'm a little bit confused. Let me stop. I don't want to.
Okay.
I don't want to take your side and jump all over him right now, but that's how I'm feeling.
No.
That's how I'm feeling.
I don't want to be.
Well, because this is absolutely asinine that you guys have let this. That you've let this burn down to this. Y'all should have been out of there 6 months ago.
I agree.
And so I don't understand why we're in denial about math. What's his problem?
Doesn't want to sell it at a loss.
I don't care. He's going to lose it to foreclosure.
I know.
But you said you bought it at $350, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And it's now you owe $280. So what do you think it's worth now?
I wish I knew. We haven't gotten appraised.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the steps. I think in sitting down with him
tonight,
hold his hands, and I want you to.
I've scheduled a real estate agent to come over here tomorrow night because tonight we're about to have a come to Jesus meeting. The math is over. we cannot pretend anymore.
Yeah.
You've got your head stuck up something. I don't know what it is, and it's got to come out. I mean, this is ridiculous.
And put his hand on your belly and let him know you've got another baby coming.
This is crazy.
Time is of the essence.
I have. He's even finished your book. We bought your book on Amazon. He read it. He's so excited, so gung-ho. He's trying to look for more jobs now, but it's just
it's not about jobs. It's about this house is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to go.
It's a 3-hour drive with a pregnant wife who's scared, and he's out of money. This house is gone. Sell it before you lose it.
Yeah.
What do we do? Do we rent or
you move to town?
And rent.
When we went there, it was $1,800 a month.
You're going to have to get other jobs. But listen, what your little dream of living in the country and growing veggies has turned into a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And so something's got to change. You cannot stay where you are.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. Now, then the only question is, where are we going?
Right.
And you got to start figuring that out as a next step. But this, I don't know what you were waiting on. Were you waiting on the housing fairy to show up? I mean, this isn't, unless you were going to have an income all of a sudden start appearing that's double yours.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
This is not going to work.
It's not
got
sustainable.
To go.
And so, Natalie, the urgency you hear in our voice is that we don't want you all hanging out for another 2 to 3 months.
You don't have. They're going to come get the house.
Yeah, you don't have that time. So I would much rather you all make a proactive decision. Reach out to your lender, have a real conversation. Get the real estate agent, the real estate ELP over tomorrow.
You are moving.
Yeah.
Voluntarily or otherwise, you are moving.
Much rather you be in control.
This is where you are. And so let's face it and decide what we're going to do. Where are we moving? Because we're moving.
Yeah.
This house is gone. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry you guys have been through this. But you got to deal with it. You cannot not deal with it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Hogan, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Drew is with us in Chicago. Hi, Drew. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi.
How can we help?
Hi, how are you?
Great.
It's a pleasure to speak with both of you.
You too.
So my wife and I have been Dave-ish for years. Last March, I was able to get my wife 100% on board. I'm sure the pandemic had a little bit to do with that. So we started using the Every Dollar budget, which allowed us to pay off our only vehicle loan, got rid of all the credit cards that we had.
Wonderful.
Cash flowed 3 kids' braces, and we've got a fully funded emergency fund now.
How's that feel?
It feels fantastic.
Good.
Fantastic.
How's it feel to her? How's it feel to her?
I'm sorry?
I said, how does it feel to her?
Oh, she's wondering why we didn't start it earlier.
It was your fault.
I can't say I told you so.
It was your fault, Drew. I'm sure. I don't know exactly how, but I'm sure it was your fault.
Drew, do not say I told you so. That's never going to work, brother.
I won't.
All right, good.
So we have college coming up. I have my 3 kids are 17, 15, and 14. We have $27,000 left on the mortgage. And based on some advice you just gave Jacob a little while ago, I think part of my question is answered. I do have a non-retirement brokerage account that I had $77,000 in. So basically, I was trying to figure out what to do with that. Should I pay off the $27,000 mortgage? Should I open and fully fund 2 Roth retirement funds for my wife and I?
What's your household income?
It's right at about 175.
Excellent. Okay, so here's the hinge pin mathematically for your whole situation that'll set you guys free. You need to sit down and map out for all 3 kids what they need for college and how you're going to do that. And when you see that number and you see how you're going to do it, it's going to set you free to do the other stuff. Because here's what's happening if I'm in your shoes. You tell me if I'm wrong, but I think this is how I would be feeling if I was sitting there. I got this brokerage account. I got a $27,000 mortgage. I could easily pay it off today, and I need to get my IRAs funded. But God, those kids, that's coming at me like a freight train right now. That big college bill is looming, and I don't know what it is. And I'm a little bit afraid if I pay that mortgage off and I start my 15% baby step 4 into retirement, that I'm not going to have the money for college.
Right.
Does it feel?
I do.
You feel that way?
I do have I do. Now I do have a 457 through work.
Good.
That I have 150 about 150,000 in.
All right. So tell me the ages of the kids again.
17. So she's a junior. So we've got a little over a year and a half. 15, he's a freshman, and then 14.
Mm-hmm.
So I have that 457 also, and my employer just changed the management of that 457, and as for the past many years, they didn't offer a Roth option, and now they do. So I've stopped putting into the regular. I've opened up the Roth, but it's so I still have the.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do if I'm in your shoes. All right. Okay. I'm just going to throw some numbers down just for the fun of it, but I want you to go do a formal version of this with your wife.
Okay.
Let's say we research the kids' college, and $100,000 will put them through each. I don't think it will quite, but I'm going to use that number for a minute. Okay? So over the next 4 years, because I've got a 14-year-old, I need $300,000. That make sense?
Yes.
I make 175, and so if I did 4 into 300, that'd be 75 a year. Mm-hmm. I can cash flow that right?
Yes.
You see how having the numbers helps you relax a little bit. So I know $75,000 a year for 4 years, or $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
For 4 years, you can cash flow that. Now, 100% of the time, I'm going to write a check tonight and pay off your mortgage, knowing that I can get there, because you've already got 50 of your 300 to 400 that you're going to need. 77 minus 27 is 50, right?
Yep.
Right.
Okay. I got 50 of it. Now, the only question is, in order to cash flow it, am I going to have to tap the brakes a little bit on my retirement in order to cash flow college, because I got college right here on top of me? Of course, the kids are going to go to school. They're going to take ACT testing, and they're going to take it again. They're going to apply for scholarships.
Grants.
We're going to affordable schools. We're not going to uber expensive schools. You don't have the money, and you're going to go to something you can afford. But even having done all of that, you're looking at a $300,000 to $400,000 bill. Right. Over this period of time, roughly.
And Drew, once you do this, you've got your mortgage payment now freed up because you paid off your house.
Yeah. So the only question that remains is, how much retirement am I going to be able to do while I'm cash flowing college for the next 4 years? Actually, it's
right. So there's one wrinkle there too. I also will be receiving a pension. Of probably right at about $100,000.
When you retire, or a lump sum?
No, when I retire.
Oh, but we're not retiring anytime soon.
Way down the road.
Yeah, because when the kids are through school, you're going to load retirement up. When the kids are through school, you're going to load up retirement.
Yeah, because you've got that money set aside.
You can do this.
You're going to be good, buddy. Now, what you have to do is stay allergic to stupid from now until then.
You got to map it out, and you got to map out the kids' school.
Yeah.
And have some firm discussions starting tonight on where you're going to school, where you're not going to school.
17-year-old, yeah. I mean, and this is real.
But I'm writing a check paying off the house. I got 50 started towards my $300,000 to $400,000 need over the next 4 years before the last one starts school. But we really have a total of 8 years to spread it across. So this makes it even more doable. So you can map out the actual cash needs. So the 17-year-old starts, I need this much cash this year.
Right.
So you got year 1 out of your 50. You probably got year 2 out of your 50. Now the 15-year-old starts school. And you got 3 and 4 for the first one, and you got the second one.
Right.
And you're going to end up with 2 in school for quite a few years at the same time. But you can map that cash out and out of your cash flow in your budget, again, with a reasonably priced education. And you're going to be able to do that, and then back into how much can I put towards retirement out of that and paying cash for school. So we're going to have the discussion with them about that. But once you map this out, it's going to give you a ton of peace. Just like when you start doing a budget, you felt like you got a raise. But all we're doing is we're mapping out the next 8 years, which gets the 14-year-old 4 years starting school, 4 years to finish school.
Yeah, and now you're not guessing. You don't have this thing looming over your head where you're wondering. You can sit down and actually know. And once you put a dollar amount to it, now you can put a savings plan toward it.
Yep.
Yeah.
This will work. This will absolutely work. Hold on. I'm going to have Kelly send you a copy of Debt Free Degree, #1 bestseller by Anthony O'Neill, and you guys need to read that, and the kids need to read it. It'll help you understand that you can get a degree debt-free, especially when mom and dad are 100% debt-free, house and everything, and make $175K. Ding, ding. It's doable. It's very doable. But we got to plan it out, and we got to think about it. And no one accidentally wins the Super Bowl. It doesn't happen. We noticed that the other night. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Ecclesiastes 7:12, for the protection of wisdom is like the protection of money, and the advantage of knowledge is that wisdom preserves the life of him who has it. John Zinger says, great leaders are not defined by the absence of weakness, but rather by the presence of clear strengths. I haven't heard that one. That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Chris Hogan, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host here today. David is with us in Houston, Texas. Hi, David. How are you?
You know, I don't know whether to say better than I deserve or focused but not finished. But I'm doing pretty well.
That's a pretty good Hogan impersonation there.
David, I'm going to give you an A on that one.
Hey, thanks. Hey, I've got a question for y'all. I'm 30 years old, married. I have 2 kids, 3 and under with 1 on the way. And I am blessed to be debt-free except for a mortgage. We got about $125K left to pay off on that. Kind of the backstory is, you know, I grew up kind of as an FPU kid. My parents did it back in 2006. I read your book, Dave, Total Money Makeover in 2008, and we did FPU as a couple in 2013. But I'm kind of struggling now with baby steps to burnout. We're on baby steps 4, 5, and 6. We purchased our home in 2015 as double income, no kids. And then in 2017, my wife quit after we had our daughter in the middle of Hurricane Harvey and took a big pay cut there to about $70K. Then I was blessed to have a promotion where I got a 43% pay raise in 2019. So now I'm making about $110K. So the question, I guess, is, you know, with all the things that I've found, the more money I make, the more things I have to pay for, whether that's 529 for the kids, home insurance, life insurance, property tax, etc. So how can I keep my eyes and our eyes on our financial goal without running out of gas during baby steps 4, 5, and 6?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is baby steps 1 through 3 are gazelle intensity, and 4, 5, and 6 are not. You move from intensity to intentionality on 4, 5, and 6. So 4, 5, and 6 involves a budget for a vacation. It involves a budget for an upgrade in vehicle. It involves a budget for, you're running a marathon here, you're not running a sprint. And so you're not on beans and rice and beans. And you make $110,000, you've done very well in your career. Well done. You're putting 15% of your income away. You don't have any payments but a house payment. You've got an emergency fund in place. You have a very reasonable house mortgage. And you got some kids and you're funding a 529. But you're slowing into a rhythm run now. You're not doing speed training. It's a marathon. And I think you're still trying to run the emotions at least, if not maybe even trying to crank the math down, as if you were still on gazelle intensity. That'll burn you up. You can't do that.
Yeah, and David, you're also at that stage of life where you've got all of these young kids. You got another one coming, so you're feeling the pressure and the strain.
I'm never gonna get out.
Yeah, along with
working from home.
Along with lack of sleep. Are you working from home too?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, man. So let's be honest. The mindset on the financial side, as Dave said, it's a mindset. It's the intentionality factor. But what you're feeling is the stress and strain from the other things of life. And I want to tell you, as a former master isolator, because I was perfect at it, I thought, you don't want to do life alone. And so you want to get some good guys around you. You want to have a connection and a relationship to talk about the stressors and strains of the kids, of the pressure. It's one of those things where we're not meant to do life alone, so you need some community.
Yeah, and you know, it's the stage you're in.
Oh, yes.
I mean, you've got, there's not a lot of traction mathematically with where you are in these baby steps. And the kids just keep piling up here. And you're just like, oh, I'm stuck.
And he doesn't get to leave. He's working from home.
Yeah, there's a lot.
You got a lot.
You know, you're I think just saying all that out loud helps with the idea of burnout. That a normal human being in your situation would be stressed.
Yes.
So if you are stressed, you are a normal human being.
You are normal. Absolutely.
You are not a psychopath.
No. And if you were just clueless, then I would tell you I'd worry about your mental health. You are feeling exactly where you are right now in this season, brother.
Yeah, we get you out of the house and working. Yeah. That'll be helpful.
It will.
And we get the baby here, the last one. That'll be good. That'll be helpful.
Yes.
And you get into, but you're not going to see one of the frustrations that we've watched people experience, and I guess we've all experienced that have walked these baby steps, is that you see such huge chunks of traction in the first 3.
Yeah.
And then when you go to 4, 5, and 6, it just slows down.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's the long haul. This is a 5, 7 year, 10-year slog.
That's just a thought.
And that's why we budget in there for the upgrades and some of the other things as you go along. You budget for this or that. And, if you need to back off on a 529 just a little bit in order to
breathe,
have a fund
yes,
a little bit while you're here, this is the time that it's appropriate to do that. I just want you doing it on purpose, and I don't want you to fall into debt, because you take your eyes completely off the ball.
Yeah.
So you go from intensity to intentional.
Yeah.
And that's where we want to be.
And David, just like the seasons of the weather, this season too will change, my friend.
Yeah.
It really will. Just hang in there with your wife. Make sure you guys' relationship is connected. Get some coaching if you need to, or some counseling if you need to. But get some good guys around you so you can do life with them, because you got other fellas that are feeling this same thing.
It's weird. It feels like it's yesterday in some ways, and in some ways it feels like it was 100 years ago. But the year Rachel was born, we filed bankruptcy. We had no money. That's why you file bankruptcy. And I got a toddler, a marriage hanging on by a thread. I'm working from home, and I'm broke. I got no money. And, Sharon was, to say the least, overwhelmed. She wanted me away. She didn't even want to look at me to start with right then. It's pretty disgusted. Valid. But, we went through a similar season, but much worse.
Yeah.
In the sense of there was not money for the electric bill, and there was not money. We didn't go hungry literally, but we were broke. We had no money, and I had to go make money every week in order to just pull things together. And I got little babies. My self-esteem is destroyed. My marriage is on the rocks. That was a tough season, and so. It feels like when I talk about it, it comes up in my throat, and I remember it like it was yesterday, but it was 30 years ago. So in that sense, David, you're in a similar type thing, but much better. And I'm not saying yours is that your feelings aren't valid; they are valid.
Right.
But you're just that's what that young kid stage of life. They suck the marrow out of your bones.
Yes.
Emotionally, that's what they're so needy.
Just takers.
We love them. They're cute as they can be, but that's why when I have all the grandbabies over, that's how I send them back home. That's why I send them back home, because I love them, but they need to go home.
They have to go home.
And it's just they when you're 6 months old and you can't do anything for yourself, all you are is a taker, man. We love you. You're cute as a button. And Papa Dave's going to bounce you on my knee, but they do. They pull the energy out of and the math out of everything, and so it is valid to feel that. It's not really a burnout. It's more of I'm not getting traction.
Yeah. Fatigue.
It's a fatigue.
It is a fatigue.
Yeah, it's a mental, it's a math fatigue, an emotional fatigue, a spiritual fatigue.
It really is.
A relational fatigue.
Yep.
And just own that and say that that's real. Get some guys of young families around you, like Chris suggested.
Yeah.
Form you a group of guys. Get out of the house.
Yes. Go to the store and just walk around.
Go in the backyard and hit a tree with a stick. I don't know. Do something, man. That's
get out of that house.
Yeah.
Let your wife get out of the house too.
Yeah,
Take turns.
Yeah, for God's sakes. Yeah, budget for a babysitter. That's a good thing. Yeah, I'm with you, brother. That's what we're saying. But you'll get through it, and you can still hit your baby steps.
Yes, you can.
Just don't let this cause you to fall off the horse. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.